Voters will vote for the two oldest presidential candidates in U.S. history in November. And while polls consistently show age matters to voters, First Lady Jill Biden brushed off the age factor while touting her husband, President Joe Biden, as she spoke to the ladies of The View on Wednesday's program. Let's listen to that.
This election is not about age because, like you're saying, I mean, Donald Trump's going to be, what, 78?
78, yeah.
And Joe's 81. They're basically the same age.
Right.
You have two choices. You have my husband, Joe, who you all know, who has integrity. He's strong. He's steady. He's a leader. He's smart. He's energetic. Or you have chaos.
That's right.
Yes, or you have chaos.
Speaking of polls, co-host Alyssa Griffin pressed the First Lady about Biden's cratering poll numbers, to which Jill Biden responded, "The numbers will turn around. Let's watch."
Those polls are going to turn. I'm confident of it because as time goes on and as people start to focus a little bit more about what's at stake and start to become educated on the issues and the differences between the two men, I believe that Americans are going to choose good over evil.
Users on X quickly pounced. Pundit Larry Elder posted a video clip of President Biden from later in the day on Wednesday. Let's take a look at that.
Promised we'd start to reconnect black and brown and overlooked neighborhoods cut off by highways in the 60s, and decades of disinvestment as a consequence of it, including here in Philly. Well, we're changed that with the Recovery Act. Right now, you see all the construction going on the highways around here.
Citizens for Free Press posted, quote, "Jill Biden is desperate. When Trump wins, she will be stuck in Delaware, taking care of old man Joe all on her own, sponge baths and pudding cups. That's her future." Harsh.
Very harsh.
Yeah, obviously Jill Biden is going to go on TV and encourage people to vote for Joe Biden and, you know, try to emphasize that he's still strong and hearty or whatever, but like voters are not believing that. When they see him on TV, they are concerned about his age, about his inability to string a sentence together, his confusion, getting world leaders confused for past world leaders who are no longer alive, telling stories out of order, appearing disoriented, all of those kinds of things. Those are things voters can see. Those are things Democrats can see, which is why a majority of Democrats thought he might be too old to be president again, and the reason he's in this position. Like, I'm sorry, they nominated, or they're about to nominate, this guy again without any real primary process, any real debates. We didn't even know we were going to have debates until he did finally come out and say there will be two, not three, two debates with Trump. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't think it's not working. And it's just magic that, oh, the polls will suddenly turn around. Well, what if they turn around more the other way? Like, thinking that the polls are wrong, but assuming they'd be wrong in Joe Biden's favor is additionally suspect to me.
Yeah, on that same show on The View, Jill Biden also said, you're going to see how smart he is on the debate stage and the experience he has, and then you'll see somebody who can't put a sentence together. And that sounds like she's talking about the same person. Yeah. We do see both of those things from Joe Biden. And I think that most people, even when they hear this story that they love to say about how he overcame his speech impediment and he used to stutter so much, and it comes out here and again. But if you watch Joe Biden in the Senate 30 years ago, it's a very different person. And regardless of what happens when you get older, yes, your stutter can come back even if you overcame it at a young age. It is still a sign of aging and cognitive decline. And I think when people can so easily search him up on C-SPAN, I don't expect the American people to be doing this, but some of these clips have gone viral of, you know, how quickly he was speaking, how much more alert he seemed. And when you can see so visibly that cognitive decline, her saying something like this is not helping him.
Right, and it's not an rather an unexpected cognitive decline. He is a very elderly man. Fortunately, we have a lot of elderly people in government right now, increasingly over time. We have like the oldest Congress, I think, in American history. People live longer, and some people really keep it together even into an advanced age. But not everyone does. People age at a different rate. Everybody is different. There are other elderly members of our government who are not letting their age show as much. And I'm not saying he isn't all cognitively there, but he gives that impression because of his difficulty with words and his just general disorientation. Sometimes after he leaves the podium at events, he kind of looks around like, where am I supposed to be standing now? He doesn't seem like he has it going on. And now he's just a figurehead. He has advisors, actually running the government. So it is mostly a communications job. Like that is what your job is as president, is to communicate the strategy and the policy of your administration. So it's incumbent to have someone who is an effective and good communicator in that role. Is Joe Biden the best communicator the Democrats have to offer? Like clearly not. Like absolutely not.
2 or maybe 3 major functions of the president. You're the commander-in-chief, of course. You're a communicator on behalf of the American people and between nations, but you're also the hiring manager for the federal government. I think more people than ever are paying attention to that.
Don't remind me.
To the people you appoint to various positions. They're the people running the government. You're voting for the entire administration.
Yeah,
and I think that's what people have to keep in mind in November. That you're voting for all of those appointees. You're voting for the advisors that will be making decisions, on behalf of Joe Biden, quite frankly.
The bureaucrats who are going to audit you and your small business, that's who you're voting for.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's like an old puppet. Of course, he's going to have a say. He's been in government for a long time. He can name names. He knows who's who has the experience. He can probably be a pretty solid hiring manager for a Democratic administration, but he is not a good communicator.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't like hire him to, manage your grocery store. I mean, your mom and pop shop. We're talking about so many of those today. Like he'd be like, time to retire.
It's an important question. Would you want the person that you're voting for president to run a hospital you are receiving care at?
Right.
Would you want them making crucial decisions like that? And my answer is no for both of the major candidates.
Oh, I wouldn't want, no, right. I wouldn't want Donald Trump either. But.
And these debates, I don't think are going to change anyone's mind. But I'm very excited because I anticipate them to be very funny.
They are going to be funny. And we haven't heard very much about Trump, from Trump on policy lately. It's all about, his prosecution and all of that kind of thing. So it would be interesting to hear. I'd like to hear him talk about, does he have foreign policy differences with Biden? Will his Middle East approach be different? What is he thinking about? Biden continued and extended the tariffs he did on China and all of that. I want to hear if he agrees or disagrees with Biden on those things. There are some policy differences, although I tend to agree with you and Brianna about the uniparty. There being actually so much consensus on issues that are actually bad for Americans, like surveillance and getting involved overseas. There's way too much government working together on that. So there are areas where they agree, and I think it's to the detriment of the American public. But there are also areas where they disagree, and hopefully that will be able to come out.
That's a really good point. And I think he's so quiet lately because, like you said earlier in the show in our interview with Glenn Greenwald, he wants to avoid saying something, and then he gets into office.
Sure.
Trump, exactly. He gets into office, he has to do the opposite, and it's the unpopular thing.
Why say anything? I'm not being pressed to say anything, and maybe I'll say about a policy, and people won't like it, it will cause backlash. I'll just not say anything about it. The only policy he's running on is his treatment at the hands of the Biden DOJ and all of that. That's the issue he's running on.
If I was a handler of Joe Biden, to that exact point, my advice would be just ask Trump pointed questions about what his policy positions are.
Yeah.
You would win the debate very easily.
Yeah.
Make him, flub over himself and not have a response. That's the best approach.
Yeah.
Don't make Biden speak that much.
And Trump has gone back on, I know this is an issue important to you and me as well. Trump initially did support a ban on TikTok, but is now against it. It is Biden implementing the bipartisan, but it's Biden doing it, ban on TikTok. So I'm going to be interested to see if Trump makes an even more explicit appeal for the youth vote on that issue.
He should get on there, make some videos, do some dancing.
Dude, yeah, well, he loves to dance. Have you seen his moves at these rallies?
I don't know why they're making fun of them. They're sweet moves, Rob.
They're sweet moves, the hugging of the flag and the little,
he hits this.
Yeah, that's the move.
Hits the shoulders on him.
It's a good move. All right, we will have more Rising right after this.